Everyone has gone through struggles in their life, and our guest here is no exception. From having a harsh upbringing to battling addiction, her life was not very ideal. But she fought back and is now in control of her life. With bodybuilding and fitness, she has redefined herself. And now she is free. Stay tuned to find out more about her incredible story. My name is Christian Bandera. I'll be your host this evening. And across from me is Vinny Dos Santos. What's up, man?
How we doing?
Good. How you doing, man?
Good.
How'd you like the intro?
It was a good intro. The guest is looking at me like, what the fuck is he saying?
We always have an intro. Always have an intro. Just to get everyone, hooked.
Yeah.
And to also give them an idea of who the guest is going to be before we introduce the guest. But
That was really serious, though.
it was really serious. I mean,
It's not really a big deal.
it's a big deal to us. You're a big deal to us.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
And hopefully you'll be a big deal to everyone else as well.
I'm really not a big deal.
I think you might be to some people. But without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, our guest for this evening, Miss Francesca DiGiorgio. Did I say it
You
right?
said that right.
Yeah.
Good job.
There we go.
Welcome, Miss Fran. How are you today?
I'm good.
Good. I'm glad. So
Is that
basically,
camera on me?
yes.
Oh,
Oh yeah, you best believe it. I thought you would be used to this by now because you know Alex so well. You've done your shoots, your video shoots.
this never gets easier for me.
Oh, okay. I was
Yeah.
hoping it would. Kind of like public speaking. It
No,
usually gets easier.
I don't like public speaking.
Okay. Well,
I don't like it either, to be honest. I mean, I've gotten used to the podcast.
yeah. Oh, just wait until you're in front of hundreds of people. I've done that. That was interesting, but you get used to it.
Screw
Yeah.
That doesn't sound fun.
It actually wasn't that bad because I didn't even notice. Believe it or not, you get so good at it that it just becomes second nature. I mean, Grant Cardone,
yeah. I mean,
Jordan
those guys.
Peterson, all those
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
They do it for a living. Mark Twain used to, he used to rehearse. I think 2 weeks before he goes on to a stage or anything, he did 2 weeks of rehearsing, so he knew exactly when to say things and he wouldn't mess up. Even who Mark Twain was, and he still rehearsed and everything. He was
Yeah,
nervous.
of course.
But
He's a human, right?
exactly, he's human, just like you are, Miss Fran. So don't.
Yeah, but I feel like some people don't get nervous.
Yeah, some people don't get nervous. You get used to it. Like I said,
Yeah.
it's like second nature.
I think for certain things, I think you can build and learn to not get nervous for certain things, but I think everyone will feel nervous for something.
Yeah,
Even those that don't feel nervous, or do you see that aren't nervous, there's got to be something that that gets that person genuinely
I
nervous.
just think it doesn't bother them.
Right, because they've built the discipline to, be able to overcome the nervousness.
Yeah.
Maybe have tricks, or maybe just their experience speaks for themselves.
Okay.
or maybe they just hide it really well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't.
That's okay. Just
If
relax.
you're a human, you're going to
Yeah.
feel nervous. It
Yeah.
just is what it is.
Just relax. We're gonna start with the introductions. So basically, what every guest does is that they tell their origin story to the audience, because some people might not know you. We know you a little bit better, but other people might not. So if you would like to give your origin story, how you grew up, your upbringing, and then we can go from there, that'd be great.
Do you want me to sum it up in 20 paragraphs or?
As detailed as you can
As
get.
detailed. Okay. I am from the Boston area. I grew up in Revere. What else do you want to know?
Your upbringing.
My upbringing. My upbringing.
So
My upbringing wasn't that
what kind of
great.
household were you at? Yeah, great.
So it was a typical, my grandparents owned a 3-family house and lived in a duplex next door. They owned both of them. They were the ones pretty much taking care of me and my brother. And my parents were, they struggled. They were, they were drug addicts.
What kind of drugs do they use?
When I was little, I saw a lot of parties with alcohol. At the time, I didn't know it, but there were Coke bottles with straws in them and tinfoil at the top. So they were obviously smoking crack, taking pills, pretty much, I mean, I can't pinpoint what they were on, but they were definitely not productive members of society.
At what age did you realize that they were doing this stuff?
From a very young age, I was probably like 3 when I went under the cabinet and asked my mother what was this contraption. So, yeah.
And do you have any brothers and sisters who were there as well?
So I actually have 2 brothers because my mother remarried, but it was just me and my brother
Okay.
at the time.
So you're the oldest out of the 3 of you?
I am.
Okay. By how much?
My brother's one brother is 3 years younger, and the other one is 12 years younger than me.
Gotcha. Big difference. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So you and
I'm the strongest, though.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course, I expect nothing less. I mean, I saw
And
you
I
work
look
out.
the best.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, they don't work out.
Oh, maybe you need to kick their butt in the gym.
They ask me, but they never show up.
That's their issue, I guess.
Yeah, they're lazy.
Well, that's a problem with a lot of people these days, the laziness.
Laziness.
They say they want to go, but they don't, take that one step or take that, that initiative.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's false promises with people sometimes. But that's
Yeah. I mean, they can always come and show up if
Yeah.
they want, but
The
they
problem is wanting.
maybe
yeah,
someday
Problems once again. That's
Yeah.
okay. Maybe if they see this podcast, they're like, "Oh, I guess I got to go to the gym now."
I'll make them listen to it.
Exactly. Hey, that'd be great. That'd be awesome. So, 3 years old, you found out everything basically, but obviously as you got older, you understood what most of it was. Were your parents like in and out of your life during that time, or
So both my parents were in my life, and it wasn't that they were bad people. They just suffered from obviously like the disease of addiction. So when I was around 10, 11 years old, my mom just pretty much ran away from my father. What was the question? So the question was,
your parents going in and out of your life.
okay. So yeah, so that was the answer. My mom left when I was like 11 years old, and I was with my dad. So that was pretty much, my grandparents were like pretty much raising me at that point. So I was running around like crazy, not doing the right thing. I had like there was no like real discipline for me or like parenting done by like my father because he was using. Of course my phone has to ring. I'm so sorry.
You can answer it.
It's Baldy,
Who's Baldy?
one of my clients.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
yeah,
I
you
thought
should
that was,
answer it.
Yeah. Maybe
Maddie. I have ADHD really bad. Do you see?
I don't.
We were talking about this earlier. What were we talking about?
So now we're talking about how your grandparents raised you.
Okay, so my grandparents pretty much like fed us, like bought us clothes, even like, when we were young and as we got older, like my father was, when I was like 11, all through my teenage years, he was like absolutely not doing well. He was really struggling with like the disease. So yeah, my grandparents raised me, and like as I got into my older teenage years, I was very bad with using. So I got into heavier drugs. I got into really bad relationships with men who were also using. I ran away from my dad's house because that wasn't, not that I was looking for a safe zone, but I was almost subconsciously looking for a way out of like my crazy life or upbringing, but yet I was using as well. So, and at that point, like my grandparents were really hardworking, strong, like tough people. So like, I think one of the best things they did was they didn't enable me. They pretty much like locked the doors on me and told me to go fuck myself when I wasn't doing well. How far do you want me to go with this?
So how old were you when you first started using drugs?
Oh, so my first drug was probably, I got offered marijuana when I was like 9.
Wow.
Damn,
9 years
9?
old.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was from one of my parents' friends that were over the house getting high. Yeah.
Damn.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow. 9 years old.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
I started like drinking alcohol at around 12, 13 years of age, like hanging down a corner asking people to buy me alcohol. I started sniffing lines of cocaine when I was around 13 years old with my father. and it just sort of like spiraled from there. I like started buying like crack cocaine because I couldn't get, powdered cocaine. So I bought crack, and I learned how to smoke crack when I was like 14, 15. I learned how to cook cocaine around that age. I was also drinking. I would take whatever pills you put in front of me. There was a lot of ecstasy during that time. So a lot of like alcohol, whatever you put in front of me, I basically put in my body.
Is that the worst that you ever, worst drug you've ever done? Ecstasy?
I don't know if it's like the worst drug. Like, I mean, ecstasy was like pretty bad. It depended on like what type you got or what was in the pill. You never actually knew how you would feel when you took it. There were a couple of them that I remember like vomiting or being out of it or like just feeling like just dead for days. I did sniff heroin.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
I actually, thank God, never got into the habit of shooting it into my veins, but I'm sure that like that would have eventually happened.
Yeah, I
with
heard
me.
that's the worst one.
Well, yeah,
That's what I hear.
yeah.
Damn. Shit,
But
so you've done
I mean,
everything.
I've done enough, so I pretty much,
You basically done the whole gambit of
Unfortunately.
drugs. All of them, huh?
yeah.
What was your favorite one?
Oh, crack cocaine.
Why?
Why? I mean, I don't even know. Like, I don't like feeling low. I'm kind of like a speedy person. So, like, I just love the feeling of, like, taking a hit and just being like, ding.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Did it like last?
Don't
Like,
remind me.
How
Oh.
long does something like that last?
I don't even know. Not that long. Like, you would take a hit and probably, like, just like a good 2 minutes of being in the twilight zone.
2 minutes?
Yeah. And then I'd take another hit.
Wow, I had no
Damn.
idea. I thought it was a little bit longer
Have
than
you
that.
guys even done drugs? Oh, God. I
Wait,
feel like such a.
Like,
No, I'm just genuinely
Yeah,
curious
yeah.
because I mean, you can be high for like an hour or you can be drunk for a few hours or whatever. And then when you get into these harder drugs, it's like the highs is less,
Oh, yeah. I'd probably.
but like way more intense.
When I was like the worst, I'd probably spend like $400 a day at least on crack cocaine.
are you
A
serious?
day.
Yeah.
Where were you getting that money?
I would steal people for money. I'd ask people on the streets for money. I did have a job. I'd waste that. I was a waitress, so that was like fast money. Yeah.
Wow, $400 a day.
That's a lot of money, bro.
Yeah.
How long? For how many years?
So I would say like I was really bad with crack cocaine starting at 15, and I stopped when I was around 20.
Okay,
How old are you now?
I'm 39.
39.
it's been a long
You
time.
don't look 39.
Thank
You
you.
look way younger.
I told her that too the
Yeah,
other
right?
day. Told her she looked my age.
I don't.
Yeah, no,
think so.
seriously, I thought like your age as well.
Yeah.
No,
So
I'm fucking 40.
No, you're
no.
Yeah,
No, you're
You hit
39.
your
I have to
stride.
accept that. It's fine.
You hit your stride in your 40s.
You're actually 39. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're not 40.
Yeah, I'm 39.
Yeah. So you're not 40.
Yeah, I'm not 40. I have 3 months
Okay.
till it's over.
That's all right.
You'll still look good at 40 either way.
I'm planning on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She works out,
I'm
so
gonna
she's
fight.
does.
I'm gonna
She
fight
does.
against
Yeah,
it.
there you go.
So how long were you using drugs for? 11 years? Sound like or longer?
So
Well, I mean, if
if I
a
started
9-year-old
like
that-
drinking and like using drugs at least like 4 or 5 days a week and wanting to use every day at the age of like 13, and like eventually that evolving into me like just my main choice of drugs was cocaine. That started at like 15, and obviously like the obsession got more and more.
Yeah.
So I'd say I was like, I was addicted before like I was addicted almost, you know.
Yeah. So about almost like over a decade.
I just found a way to get more like put whatever in my system. So,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And then when did you stop using?
So like a spiral of events happened to me when I was really young. The boyfriend I was dating at the time, he was in and out of jail, and I ended up getting pregnant. And I was using while I was pregnant, at least part of my pregnancy. And I was going to the OBGYN, and you have to do a urine test. And they knew right away that something was going on because I was not only showing up when they were doing like physical exams on me, like they would, they'd obviously have to like check you when you're pregnant. They would see bruises all over me because I was also in an abusive relationship.
Gotcha.
And they would see drugs in my system. So I was like, flagged for, I was in the system for like either having to give up this baby, for adoption, or putting it in a foster home, or at least going to court to like try to prove that I could take care of this child. But at that point, I didn't live anywhere. I was basically either like trying to get into my dad's house to go to bed, or like obviously like the guy at the time was like super abusive, like just trying to go home to sleep. So I didn't have a roof over my head to raise this child.
Yeah.
So like eventually what happened to me was like I had no other choice but to go into treatment. And I went into treatment with my son, who was a newborn, and I stayed there for a year. And like that's pretty much like how I started like my journey of being like a recovering addict and staying clean.
Was it inpatient?
It was a halfway house, but it was like kind of like a specialty one for like parents with infants or children trying to get clean. And I had to stay there or else like the second I left, they would take my child away from me.
Makes sense.
Because I did not have legal custody. I only had physical.
Gotcha.
So it was almost like a transition house to find me like a home and stabilize me so I can raise my son.
When did all that happen?
I had my son when I was 21.
21.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So basically over a decade of drug use.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so now that you've had your son and you're in that rehab, did you relapse at all during that time?
No, I've been clean since then.
Wow.
Wow,
Dude, that's insane.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
I don't even know how many years that is.
Oh my God, that's 18 years.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, I forget. It's not like a big deal to me.
How
I
does
think it is though.
I don't,
that's a
I
huge
don't
deal, I
really
think.
it's a big deal how
Why?
long I have clean.
But why?
Why is it not a big deal? I mean, like I don't do anything special. I don't deserve a reward for like being somebody who's not using drugs. Like I'm just grateful I like figured it out,
Yeah, definitely.
Well, that's why it's a big deal, because you figured it out. A
Yeah,
lot
I
of
don't
people
even know
don't, and
how-
they either just die or they live in that life until they die.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's like-
I mean, I think like things have happened in my life, like consequences that have kind of like scared the shit out of me. I really like brought me to like my hands and knees where like I'm like, I don't like if I use again, then it's over.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So basically your son technically saved you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when he was born, was anything wrong with him because of your drug use while you were pregnant?
No, he was fine. I did use while I was pregnant. I was like on and off. He was born like, thank God, he was totally fine. Like there was no physical problems with him. Yeah, so
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now that you're at this point in rehab, you haven't used anymore. What about afterwards? How was that process? How was that battle?
So like I
mentally?
said before, there's been a lot of like chain of events in my life, and like, bad things happen to you even when like you're clean. So I graduated that halfway house. I got to go home, like they wanted me to stay to transition, but what ended up happening was while I was in there, my dad had overdosed and died.
I'm very sorry to hear that.
No, it's totally fine. Don't worry, I'm not going to cry. It's a long time
Okay.
ago. I'm just trying to tell my story. It's
What
very
about
personal.
what about your mom? Can we get back on that?
My mother?
Yeah.
So I really can't figure my mother out to this day.
Do you?
Is she
you-
still
So I
alive?
have a relationship with my mom, and she's like a sweetheart. Like she lives in Maine with like her husband, who's my brother's dad. Like I don't call him my half brother, but she has him and she has her husband, and I don't really know if like she's really okay. I know that like she is on like prescription medications, and like I can tell. But yeah, I don't know. She's all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if she
She's-
like never came back or anything.
Oh, so like she was in and out of my life
Gotcha.
my whole teenage years. She basically just moved up to Maine and sort of like left the situation. My dad had like full parental custody of us during like my teenage years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I just wanted to know, just so I didn't have anything, about
Yeah.
that. So your struggles, those struggles when you were sober, the mental struggles.
Yeah. So when I first got clean, I felt really good once I was out of it, and I was like really hopeful. Obviously, like, with the passing of my father, that was like very hard, but that like kind of didn't really hit me. I was like obviously mourning him, and like I never really had like a good relationship with him. So not to say that it wasn't hard to lose him, but he wasn't somebody that I was close to. I obviously like love my dad. Like I wish I could have a relationship with him today. The struggles, like as far as like depression goes. So like I went through that, and at the same time, my grandfather actually passed away like 2 days after my father.
Damn.
So
Jeez.
yeah, so I don't know if I was like set up for like a fall of like having a mental breakdown. But I was still hopeful because like my life was getting better. I had like a little bit of time clean. I had like a year and a half. I met somebody who I had a healthy relationship at the time. He got really close to my son. We started living together. Life was really good. I had like almost 2 years clean at the time, and like out of nowhere, like my son passes away.
I'm sorry.
So,
Your son passed
My
away?
son passes away. So he was 20 months old when he passed away.
Oh no way.
Damn, bro.
Yeah, so talk about like depression, like years of depression.
Crap, I had no idea.
No, it's totally fine. I told you you can ask whatever you
Because I
want.
know you have 2 kids right now.
I
but
do. I
thought
have
that-
like 2 beautiful girls. They're 16 and 13.
I thought that was one of
How
them.
did
I
how did
No.
your son pass away?
So, like I did use when I was like pregnant with him. However, he was absolutely healthy. There was nothing wrong with him. Like every time he went to like his physicals, he was growing, he was fine, he was active, he was crazy, he was intelligent. Nothing wrong with him. What ended up happening, or the chain of events, were at the time I did have like an on and off relationship with my mother, and she was happy for me. I got engaged to somebody who like took on David as his son, my son David. The question, I have such ADHD.
It's okay.
So how did he pass away? Like he honestly, like he was with my mom at the time. Me and my fiance at the time, like he got me a ring and he booked a trip to Hawaii. So my mom watched David for me. David was totally fine. He was 20 months old, running around, talking, like, totally fine child, not sick. He was 20 months old. He was with my mom. My mom was watching him. I was on a plane to Hawaii celebrating my engagement. It was like a 14-hour trip. Plane landed. I turned back on my phone. I have a voicemail from my mother. She's just screaming. I freak out. I call her right away. I'm still on the plane, boarding off the plane. And I'm like, Mom, is everything okay? What's going on? I just got to Hawaii. And she's just like, I can't. She hands the phone to her husband at the time. And I remember him saying, I can't tell her. And at this point, like, I fucking knew. I was like, what is going on with my son? Is he okay? Because she has my son. She's babysitting my son. They were at the hospital, and they put a doctor on the phone, and the doctor asked, is this Francesca DiGiorgio, David's mom? And I was like, yes, what's going on? Did he fall downstairs? Is he okay? Like why do you need to talk to me? And she's like, I'm sorry to tell you, but your son passed away. And I like immediately just blacked out. Like I was screaming. I ran off the plane. I was pushing people to get off the plane in Hawaii. I was at the airport. I was like running. My fiance was running after me, like, what's going on? Eventually, like, I got to like this overpass of a bridge, and I like honestly tried to jump. And like, I remember like these 6 National Guard guys just grabbing me and throwing me under like this stone bench, almost like holding me down. And I remember like this other security person like comes and was like, you need to calm down. What is going on? So like my fiance explained the situation. It took everything in me to like calm down. I was obviously like frantic and crying. Like we got on the next plane back home. We proceeded with like, having to bury him. And that was a really
But
tough time in my life.
What was the cause? Like, what did the doctor tell you happened?
So-
Just
So obviously like there's like an autopsy, right?
yep.
So it took a very long time for an autopsy report back because they could not determine what happened. They said
That's
after
crazy.
2 years, I got a letter back with some like recommendations to like support groups of sudden unexplained death of a child. They call it SUDS. It's like SIDS
Okay.
because he was over the age of 1, but he wasn't 2 yet. He died in January. His birthday would have been in May.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Just
No
I
Out of
know,
nowhere.
right? It still fucking bothers me. Yeah.
shit.
I almost wonder if like God used your son to get you out of your addiction, and then he was just like, you know what, here I'm gonna take him back because
I
the
don't-
purpose has been
so I
fulfilled.
don't
And now I'm
think-
gonna give you 2 other girls.
So I don't think anything happens for a reason.
That's why I'm coming.
I don't
religious,
think that
you know?
though. Yeah, I know. And
So
like
I'm just going
people have
to that
different
thought.
opinions
Yeah, of
on
course.
that. I think like life is about like lessons and experiences and doing the best with what you go through. That's what makes us like us and like who we are, whether we're like kind of broken or, it just makes us who we are. So
So you were around 23 when he passed away.
I was, yeah,
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so young.
I know.
So young for him, and then obviously so young for you to have to deal with that.
When did you have your girls?
So we still got married like a year later.
Nice.
I was actually, so right before I got married, I got pregnant. So I had my daughter Dakota. She was like 4 months old in my wedding. I had Daniela like 2.5 years later, but like honestly, that entire time I struggled with depression. I was very detached to my first daughter when I was pregnant. I almost felt like I couldn't love her or couldn't accept any joy that would be from her because if she died too, then that was like it for me. It wasn't like I'm going to shoot heroin and die. It was like I'm going to like please check me into a mental hospital if I lose another child. Yeah, so depression. This is like one of our topics.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
Yes, it
yeah.
is. So, me and Vinny have our different views on depression, mostly because we've been to places around the world where it's a little bit, it's like,
Not as seen as how it is. Here in
yeah,
America.
because like how people nowadays they'll just say anything basically because they want to be inclusive. Oh, I'm depressed. I'm this, I'm that.
I don't think they're lying.
You don't think so?
No.
Why do you not think they're lying?
I mean, I feel like there's different forms of like, depression and how you feel and like different things, like bad things, or like you can have like just like mental instability and just feel not okay. And it could be for nothing. You just don't feel okay. Like that happens to me too. Like luckily, like I know enough to take myself outside of my brain, tell myself like I'm just having bad thoughts and it's gonna pass. I have the gym for that, right? I just
Yeah.
go bang some weights and I feel better.
yeah.
Like at least those demons shut up for
Gotcha.
a little bit. But I don't think people are lying about.
Well, I think what Christian is saying too is that some people feel sadness. They get sad like everyone does. You can wake up sad, whatever. But a lot of people who don't have
Something
things that they can go to, or they don't have certain disciplines, or don't have certain strong mental structures, just instantly go from that sadness that everyone experienced straight to depression, and it just decides to live in that, where they can, like, I looked this up, right? I looked up, we had a discussion with someone at our gym about depression, and then this person brought up that it's a what is it? Chemical imbalance, right? And I looked that up because I've done this before. I looked it up. But even though it is a chemical imbalance, which I completely understand, you can do things to basically reset your brain. So what are the things that we can do? Hit the gym, get more sunlight, walk, talk about it, go to a therapist. There are things that we can do, but I think what me and Christian were talking about with our differences of opinions is that we really geared towards that, like, try to discipline yourself. Try to do all the things to help you get out of that, because you can. You're not just a victim to it. You don't have to be,
Yeah.
So that's kind of in the sense of where I'm going. Like, you just don't get sad and then just instantly jump to depressed and then just live there. There's things you can do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people that feel sad, what like they do is like isolate and like stop being active, and then it just gets worse.
Right.
Do you think that's because of society as a whole right now? Because
Well, I think as a whole of society, like even I see like it in my kids. Sometimes they don't move. They sit on their phone or on their iPad, stagnant and still, and they live in this like virtual world. And I'm like, give me that fucking thing. Like, and I tell like even my 15-year-old daughter, I'm like, come to the gym with me. Like, and like I even see her getting depressed. Like she doesn't move, and like she almost isolates, and she doesn't interact with like her peers on a physical level. It's just all social media.
Right.
So basically, like, social media is kind of running.
Have you seen that statistic? As soon as the internet kind of came to be in social media, depression just spiked.
Spiral.
Yeah, because people are isolating. They're not like.
We're not being
They're
the
not
humans
physically
we're
around other
intended
people.
to be. Like,
We're
we need
sociable.
to be social. We need
And
to
they're
go out.
doing things through a game.
Right.
Or, through Facebook.
Social media.
Right.
Social
exactly.
media.
Social media.
I hate
Exactly.
social media.
media. I hate
It's so toxic. There was a time where I had to delete my social media. I think I went like a year without it.
I don't have
because
Facebook
it's just toxic, man. Like I could visibly see myself comparing myself to these dudes that are jacked, or these dudes that are successful, these dudes that have these things that I don't, or these girls that I will never have, or whatever. Like, you just compare yourself, and then you start feeling down on yourself, and then you're not motivated to do anything. And then I was just like, I'm done with social media. Screw this.
Do you think that maybe like social media also made everyone soft? Because we believe that society at the moment is very soft here in the Western world. Because you go to, let's say, the Middle East, or even like, Asia, their societal values are different than here. So like here, it's, acceptance and, embrace who you are. But over there,
Or how you feel.
Over there, it doesn't matter how you feel. You do what you got to,
You do what you need to do.
Exactly. Like
Yeah,
that
no,
old school traditional style, basically, of society.
That's how I was raised pretty much by my grandparents.
Yeah.
It's like, cut the shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the only, I mean, not the only way, but I feel like that's like kind of legit,
It is. It is, I think so.
If I didn't feel like doing this podcast today, I'd just be like, Christian, I don't want to do it. And then you'd be like, oh, it's okay.
No, it wouldn't.
And then I'd go home and cry. And it's like, no, like, we got a podcast. We're going to do a podcast.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes, like, when you don't even feel like doing something, you start doing it, you end up liking it.
Yeah.
It's like when you don't want to work out. When you have those, like, everyone goes through this, right? Like, when you're about to work out, you don't feel like working out, you're tired, this and that. But you're like, you know what? Discipline, just get it in. Halfway through, you're like, damn, I got the best workout. Or at the end of the workout, you're like, that was probably the best workout I've had all week.
Exactly.
You
just got to get started.
Pushing yourself through it, like that discipline, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
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 So now that we've talked all about that, when did you start getting into fitness?
So my life journey kind of came to a point where I had my two little girls, I was married at the time. Not to somebody who was bad, but sort of like mind controlling and narcissistic. Kind of telling me like my spot in life and what I should be doing. He paid all the bills. I kind of stayed home with the kids. I always was like somebody who like needed to move or like have a job or needed a sense of self. So what happened was I asked him for a gym membership to LA Fitness for Valentine's Day. And he's like, you're not going to use that. I'm like, just, this is what I want. Like, they have a kids club. I'll bring the girls to the kids club. You don't even have to watch them. And I'll do the classes. And because I felt horrible about myself. I had 2 kids. I was like 26, 27 years old. I was overweight. I was already feeling the age thing going on. I didn't know like how to eat or exercise. But I always had this like energy. So I used that membership. I became friends with like personal trainers at the gym. I took the boot camp classes. I like kind of loved it immediately. And not even the physical part, but just how like it made me feel after. I felt like this self-achievement and like those voices inside my head that told me like I wasn't good enough. That was probably like my ex-husband saying, "Oh, you can't do this, you can't do that." Like, shut up. It's like, "Oh, I did something." And then I got like more into it. I went to a private gym. Somebody invited me to a boot camp class that was supposed to be like this crazy class that, oh, no one can, everybody's throwing up and stuff. And I went in there and I was like, I'm going to throw up. I'm going to love it. And I fucking loved it. The guy was like screaming at me and I was like, yeah, I'll do more. Like, I don't care. I'm going to faint. I don't care. Like, I love this. Like, I already feel like a piece of shit about myself. Tell me I'm a piece of shit. Like, beat me down physically.
Hurt me.
Yeah, like whatever. And like everybody was like so into it. I mean, some people don't like that style of training. I'm like fine with it. Like I'm already like, yeah,
God,
like I'm
so
an asshole.
funny.
Treat me like an asshole. But I also like noticed like that these girls were like they had like muscles, and I never was into like the muscle thing on. I've never really saw it. Like I've seen girls with muscles or jacked females. Like whoa. But they were doing bodybuilding shows, and I was like, what is that? And they showed me like pictures of like OCB or like WMBF or like the Cutler or like these shows that they were competing in. And I was like, oh my God, like I want to do a show. So I went home and I was like, I told my husband, I went to this boot camp class and like I talked to some of these girls and I showed him a picture. I was like, and look what they're doing. And he's like, oh, honey, your genetics are not like that. Like you're overweight. You're not built like that. Like you can't do that. I'm like, something in my head just like fucking snapped at that point in time. I was like, once again, he's telling me I can't do something and where my role is in my life. So I continued to go to that class. I signed up for like a 12-week prep to do a show. And I came home like I'm doing it. And he's like, fine, whatever. And I did it. And like, obviously, like that started like my journey with like the whole bodybuilding and being a personal trainer. I did like 6 or 7 shows in OCB and I believe WMBFF. I got some trophies. Like I lost some shows. I got first place in like one show. I got second place. I got like some overalls. Like I did good for the most part. I was good at it, but like I knew I always wanted to be involved in fitness. So I think like where I am today is like a personal trainer. I'm on the right path. Like I love the fact that like I have people that like look at me and think like I'm this amazing person, and I'm like I'm not like genetically like strong. Like I just work really hard, and like you can too, like or like they're overweight and they're moms. And I'm like, are they like in their 30s? And I'm like, I'm 40. I started like competing and really building muscle when I was 29 years old. So it's been like a 10-year journey, and like I don't like it's a process, So like, that's why I do what I do today.
That's dope.
That's insane. Holy crap.
Not really.
I think it is though, because like not many people are able to push themselves to where they are able to be on stage. That's one, and then two, to actually be conditioned and be muscular enough to be on stage to compete with other people who are like that.
Well, I think the addict part of me kind of helped. Like I am like addicted to like I was addicted to the process
Gotcha.
and almost like the suffering of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and with that came like a lot of like self-discipline and like self-worth.
Makes
Like
sense.
I can put myself through this and like I can come out the other end like I just was totally disciplined. I ate this diet, I worked out every day, I was almost dead at the end and I survived it. And like I listened to my coach and like I did well. And if I can do a prep is really hard. People who do bodybuilding shows like no, it's like not. It's definitely mind challenging. It brings you to your knees and it like makes you question like why you're even, what am I doing this for? But it's like that, like it's that sense of like worth at the end. It's like I can do this.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
yeah.
And when you were competing, obviously you haven't taken a drug since you were 21, so you weren't on anything, like no gear.
No, I've never taken a steroid in my life.
Gotcha. So just all
No,
natural.
I don't plan on taking a steroid. Not that I have any judgment towards that. That's just my story and me. I don't do good with any sort of drugs in my system. I'm not saying steroids are drugs, but for me, I just want to do it on my own.
Makes sense.
Yeah. You still have to work hard on steroids.
Of course.
You can't
Definitely.
Of course,
Definitely.
yeah.
If I knew that, I mean,
For sure.
let me reel that back a little. If I knew I could take steroids and look like this, I would take steroids. I'm sorry. You have to do the work even when you take
Yeah.
steroids.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what a lot of people don't understand.
They don't.
No.
Even when you take gear,
Nobody understands
you
that.
still
No,
have
if
to
there's
put
a
it.
magic pill that can make me look, in shape, I'd probably relapse and take that pill every day.
But there is no pill for that because you still have to put in the work.
And there never
Yeah.
will be.
Never will be.
There never will be.
No.
At the end of the day, you can't beat hard work and diet.
No pill is a good alternative for hard work,
No.
nutrition, and training.
No.
No.
There isn't.
If it is, it's not
Unfortunate.
sustainable.
Exactly.
If it happens or it exists at some point, it's not going to be sustainable, or it's going to come with a lot of side effects.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely not. Speaking about nutrition and training and everything,
Great transition.
great transition.
Look at you.
The sponsors. So this is about the middle of the
Sponsors.
middle of the video. We're gonna give a little break
Are we
to
half-
Miss Fran right
Are we
here.
halfway through?
Yeah, we're about halfway
Are
through.
we almost done?
Yeah, we got a little bit more to talk about.
Okay.
I know. We put a lot. You threw a lot. Honestly, I had no idea about a couple of those things. I was
Yeah, that was intense.
wow. But take a break for about 2 minutes, and while we thank our sponsors. All right, everyone. So we want to thank our sponsors for the video, the BACP Group. So that's Alex's business. Without Alex, we would not be able to do this podcast. So thank you so much, Alex. If you want to have a photo shoot, a video shoot, or even have your own podcast, hit up Alex and he can help you out with that. And believe it or not, Miss Fran also has been doing photo and video shoots with Alex, and they have been great.
Alex is the best.
See, even a good testimonial
I
from
just
Fran.
asked him, like, when are we doing another one?
Exactly. So,
Yeah.
guys, hit up Alex. He's going to get you right.
You guys gotta check me out.
Hell
You
yeah.
guys are slacking on me.
Yeah.
Check me out. I'm
Don't
gonna-
sleep on Alex.
I'm gonna put my Instagram down there. Just go to my page, check my work, hit me up, and I shoot for free. Yes, for free. Just hit me up. Hit me up.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, Alex. We also want to thank NutriMeals. Sometimes, especially like days like today, we're just really busy and we can't prep our meals or get a good meal in. Sometimes we need a good alternative that's still relatively healthy. So NutriMeals helps with that. So it is a meal where you could just put it in the microwave for 2 minutes and it has all your macros that you could ever want in there. There's low sodium options, high protein options, gluten-free options. They have so many different options and different foods that you'll never get sick of them. I don't know about you, man, but like I really could use one right now. It's the day I've been having.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A nice high protein meal.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes you just need that one of those meals.
I know they're good.
They are
They're
really
bomb.
good.
They're bomb. All the owners are restaurant owners, so
They are. So you know you're going to get a good quality gourmet meal every time you put it in the microwave and take it out. So guys, don't skip out on your nutrition. There is no alternative for nutrition, hard work, and consistency. Use KMF40 at checkout for 40% off your first order. That's Nutrimeals. KMF40, 40% off your first order at checkout. All right. Now it's time to get back on the podcast.
you're getting really good at that, huh?
I'm trying.
Sheesh,
I
that
know.
man sounds like one of those infomercial people. Damn.
See, it's been like 13th episode, and I'm already pretty decent at it.
Yeah, you're
But
pretty good.
At first, I was
Jeez.
like, oh, you know.
You turned into this whole character.
Yeah, that,
Right?
Yeah.
Apparently,
He's so fake.
definitely not.
Super fake.
He's fake as hell.
Believe it or not, I've always wanted to be an actor. That was my lifelong dream, is to be an
This
actor.
could be the beginning of it.
This might be. Who knows?
Who knows? When this podcast really takes off, who knows?
Someone might message me. I would
Yeah.
love to be a freaking character on like Star Wars or something. I
Ah.
want to be a villain though. I don't want to be a hero. I want to be a villain. I want to be the bad guy.
I could see that.
Hell yeah,
think
that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
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 All right. So now back into the podcast. Hope you had a good break for those 2 minutes. So you basically talked about how you were in bodybuilding and then how you kind of transitioned to personal training, right? So now
Yes.
you're a personal trainer.
I am a personal trainer.
How long have you been a personal trainer for?
I'd say I've been like really on my own personal training since 2017.
Okay. So
Yeah.
it's been a while.
Did you just start on your own, or did you start working for a gym?
So I first started working for my coach, who I did bodybuilding shows. I started in his gym.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I got certified. Like I actually did it because I went through a divorce. So I needed a job. And I was like always going to the classes there, and that was like my support network of people. Friends were there. So I started there. I got certified, and I started taking clients that, he kind of handed off to me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Never looked back. Just stayed with that
Stayed with,
personal training and building the clientele and whatnot.
yeah, I mean, I love my job. I don't want to do really anything else.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I thought about like a job in like recovery.
Like physical therapy or something like that?
Well, that's actually what I also thought. I was like, I really like a lot of my clients just like, they just want to move and feel better.
Yeah.
And like, they're like, what can I do to make this feel better? Like, how can I help my lower back? Like, how could I make my hamstrings not feel so tight? I'm like, I should just be a physical therapist, because a lot of people come to me to feel better. But no, I'm saying like in addiction, like having a job in like a recovery coach or something. I don't know where I'm going.
I'm sure you can tie it all in together.
You know, that's like my main goal in life, kind
I
of
think you
tying
definitely
in.
100% can tie
I
it
know.
all in
I need
together,
like
I
don't know how to do it. I need some business ideas.
I think that's a great
we can definitely.
That's a great business
talk
idea
about
right
that,
there.
yeah.
You find people who were addicted to drugs or alcohol, and then you try to help them with their recovery.
Yeah, but I
with
don't want to
fitness.
single out just addicts.
No,
I want
sure,
everybody to like
yeah, definitely
Yeah.
not. Definitely.
go to like whatever my business is.
Yeah, definitely not. But maybe you want to start with that, niche down on that, and then, maybe more people will get to know you.
Yeah, you'll have clientele of all different
Yeah.
realms. But
Yeah.
let's say specifically for those who are addicts, you would have not only that experience, but you would be able to help them get through the recovery process. And you could use your other experience of training and the physical therapy.
I could like beat them
to
up in a
kinda-
boot camp.
Yeah,
Exactly. Things like maybe
you
even
need
find a different outlet
yeah.
to.
Maybe you need a boot camp where it's like one class is like, okay, I want basically all my recovering addicts on this, so they all could see each other, working hard, and then using that as a base and as an example for everyone else who's maybe not a recovering addict. Like, hey, these people can do it too. You can do it as well.
I thought of like maybe like, I mean, obviously this would cost like a crap ton of money. Like a fitness center, almost like a medical fitness center where there's like all types of like outskirts of like yoga and boot camps, or just like a weight room. Like I feel like working out is like very therapeutic.
It really is.
Mhm.
It releases the endorphins, and
It
dopamine
does.
in
Yeah.
your body.
Most people just need that person to kind of grab their hand, show them the ropes.
Exactly.
You know, because not everybody can just walk into a gym and just work out.
Yeah, they sometimes need a Vanessa or a Fran to help them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could talk more about that outside the podcast. I'm sure we can figure something out.
Yeah, maybe we
At
could.
least shoot some ideas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely,
Right on.
definitely.
Okay.
So, you've been a trainer since 2017, and you love it now. Now you're basically on your own doing your thing with your boyfriend, right?
Yeah. So, my boyfriend, like I've known this person. We were friends for a very long time, but he actually used to go to like the boot camp class with me. He's done a show. He's really into fitness. He's into a lot of like nutrition. He's very like, he's really intelligent when it comes to like his own like nutrition and figuring out, and like he's helped others with like meal plans, and like he's helped me like throughout this year. He's actually got me like kind of in check as far as like my nutrition. So like I'm trying to work with him on like a 3-month challenge for like my clients or pretty much anyone who's interested, like starting in January till March. And it would be like a workout / meal plan program with like a prize money at the end.
Nice. How much money?
We have to see how many people we can get to sign up for it.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
Definitely. Wow, that's a good incentive right
And
there,
it's
though.
just like, you know, for obviously like promotional for me and him to start something, because I feel like I'm kind of stuck in this hamster wheel of just taking like small groups and like one-on-ones. Not that I don't love like my personal time with my clients, but like I obviously like this day and age need to like figure out how to make more money.
Of course.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And like what I do.
Definitely. Is that the future for right now? Future plans for you?
That's like my next goal, get into like obviously like more networking, getting to more online coaching, meal plans, maybe even meal prepping.
Meal prepping. Yeah, we talked about this.
Yeah, everybody's like, so I'm like mentioning it to my clients and like, are you gonna make me the food too? And I'm like,
Yeah, it's very time consuming.
It is very
yeah, I'm
time-consuming.
like, I don't have like a restaurant.
That's tough.
Well, you
Yeah.
don't need a restaurant, but you
You might be able to work out some deals with some meal prep companies that already do things like that.
exactly like NutriMeals.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I
You
know there's like a trainer at my gym who does meal preps, and I actually like the way his system works because he like gives you a menu a week. It's not like 20 different things that you could order forever. It's like this is the menu this week. There's a variety. He sends it out every week. So like because my clients are like, "Hey, I don't know what to eat or where do I start?" I'm like, at least start with like, you know, like eat this for breakfast. This is easy enough. And like have 2 of these meals for like, you know, lunch, like 2 lunches or whatever. So you're not like starving yourself for 4 hours. And then like, let's talk about like what's healthy for you to eat at dinner time and like, you know, how much protein you should be taking in, or like, you know, what it actually looks like to eat the right amount of food. So yeah.
Do you think most people go wrong with the nutrition, but they're like their training is always usually on point in their recovery, but it's the nutrition? That
Yeah. And I'm guilty of that too.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, 100%. I can get off the rails
I had
with food.
calzone yesterday.
I did too. I had a
No
steak
way.
Yeah, I was at a party.
Which one did you have?
I had steak and cheese.
Oh,
I had chicken and bacon.
It wasn't a whole calzone. It was a piece.
Oh, I had like basically a whole calzone.
oh, you
Chicken
both.
and bacon.
Chicken
Yeah.
and bacon though.
Bomb.
Damn. Okay.
Bomb.
Maybe chicken bacon ranch.
Yeah, I was thinking with
that's
their ranch
that's
sauce.
what it was.
Ah,
yeah.
there we
Light
go.
ranch sauce.
Yeah. But I got the blue cheese on the side.
Oh,
you know,
gotcha.
Some light. Some light.
Mm.
She's like, yeah, gross.
I mean, I would eat it too.
Oh, you would. It's good.
Yeah, I would eat
You
it.
eat
I'd
27
eat
Reese's
chicken.
cups in one go. So yeah.
27 Reese's cups?
Yeah.
I
We
would
were just
just.
talking about
What?
in the beginning of the podcast. We were
I
just
do
talking
not
about
remember. Where did this happen? Was I here?
it. Yeah, you were here.
No, I
you were
was
right
not.
there.
I don't think I was here.
Yeah.
I
you
never
were.
ate 27 peanut butter cups. I don't know what
See,
you're
what are
talking
you
about.
talking about?
That- Oh,
do you-
sorry. Yeah, I forgot. We can't have you. We can't paint a bad picture
What
on
are you
you
talking
for
about?
your
I
other
wouldn't do
for your
that.
clients. Gotcha. So,
Dude,
Oh, answer it.
definitely answer it.
it's Paul.
Who's Paul? Your boyfriend.
Yes.
Oh, answer
Oh,
it.
okay.
You gotta
Definitely.
answer it.
Like, hey,
Answer it.
Yeah.
put on speaker, please.
Paul, Hi, what's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah. What are you doing?
I'm in a podcast.
Hi,
right
Paul.
now.
Hi, Paul.
Okay. Well, call me back.
Okay.
I love you. Bye. I'm sorry. I thought you'd be done.
No, you're fine. I love you.
Love you.
He's gonna be so mad at me.
Why?
Cause you just like he's like, why am I on a podcast? why am I on speaker?
He
on a
should have
Did you
said.
tell
He
him?
should have said hi.
I did tell him. I said I was doing a podcast. He's like, that's great. That'll be great, like promotion for you. You need to
Exactly.
do stuff like that to get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, definitely. I think you're
Yeah.
doing great, by the way.
Sounds like a good dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sounds like a
it's
nice
fine.
guy. He won't be mad at it. He won't be mad at you.
How long have you guys been together?
We've been like dating for over a year, almost.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
And how's it with your daughters and him?
So my daughters are older. They they love me. They're so good. They just want to see me happy. I mean, they're at the age where they're not like really developing. They don't want a relationship like a dad. Like their dad's in their life. He's a good father. He's
Yeah.
just a fucking piece of shit, dude. Go control somebody else.
We get it.
Yeah. Don't. Can we talk about that? No.
But,
Go for it. Yeah,
Well,
I'm
yeah,
up
I mean,
for it.
I mean,
Let's do it.
Fuck him. You know, he has
Part
a
two?
podcast too.
He does?
He does.
Is it like big?
He talks about drinking celery juice and taking ice baths.
Okay.
Do you guys like ice baths?
I fuck with
Ice baths? No. Celery
Heavy.
juice?
I
Yeah.
fuck with ice baths. Yeah.
I mean, I drink celery juice, but
Yeah.
The ice
Ice
bath. There's
bath.
so many benefits to ice baths, bro.
I don't
All right.
like it. I'm a bitch.
I don't like you guys either.
I'm a bitch when it comes
Christian's just a bitch, so he
I'm a
wouldn't do
bitch.
it.
I don't
But
like cold.
I'm a bitch. I don't.
the actual science
Yeah.
behind it is.
I don't like it.
legit.
I freeze. Like I could be cold on the beach
Yeah.
in
me
like
too.
85-degree weather. I don't
Yeah.
know what's wrong with
Put my
me.
toe in the water. Nope. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm just always cold.
You softies.
Yeah, I know.
Gosh.
So, since you're a parent and you went through that addiction, what's good advice that you could give other parents for their kids who might be struggling through addiction, or maybe not struggling through addiction, but maybe to dissuade them from trying drugs?
What do you mean for like other parents who have children and they're worried about their kids using?
Yes.
I'm worried about my kids using.
What do you do to help prevent that at home?
I mean, at the end of the day, I think like picking up like a drug is like a personal choice. I don't think like I can only set an example for my kids. Like I can only set like good work ethic, not using drugs, like having healthy relationships, like everything, going to the gym, like working hard, keeping the house clean, just like trying to do everything in a positive manner. Also, like as they're getting older, like watching who they're hanging around with. Like don't just, I don't know. I mean, I live in a really nice town. I wouldn't think that like my daughter's 13. She wants to go to every one of her friends' houses. She has a lot of friends, and I actually had this discussion with like my boyfriend the other day. I was like, when I grew up, I was like, I didn't grow up in a really good city. Like, my parents found me in houses that were just like hoarded, disgusting. Their parents were using, kids were playing barefoot in the backyard. Like, I live in like an upper middle class town, and I dropped my child off at like her friend Maddie's house, and like I'm looking through the window and I could see like her golden doodle like wagging its tail, and the mother's like cooking dinner, and I'm like, I feel so proud of myself. My kids never have to grow up the way I grew up. But like, it's not like about that. Like that family could have like inside issues too.
Yeah.
The mother could be an alcoholic.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter where you come from or like what you try to instill in your kids. Like at the end of the day, like addiction and disease is like vicious, and it targets anybody and
Yeah.
everybody.
No
so
discrimination there.
yeah, there's really like just really pay attention to your kids like emotional well-being, and like always be supportive, and like be like, I'm kind of nosy. Like I want to know like who these people are that you're hanging around with, like where you're going after school, like how are you feeling today, like I have a 16-year-old. She's like emotional, like hormonal, and I can just like kind of like rub it off like, oh, she's hormonal, she's getting her period, that's why she's crying. But it's like, ask her why she's crying, like what's going on through her head. you
Be
know, because
involved.
life is hard, especially
more-
like we were
yeah.
talking social media,
Yeah.
like depression.
Yeah.
Like that can all lead to like drug use
Mm-hmm.
because like drugs get you out of the way you feel.
Yeah, that
So-
little hit of like dopamine
You
kind of
escape
just
from
takes you away.
reality.
To escape.
Yeah. Yeah, life is scary.
So just
I'm
be-
scared for my kids.
So basically, what you're saying is
Yeah.
like just be more involved in your children's life, basically,
Yes.
so you know what's going on. They
Yeah,
can
you
be,
have to,
They
right,
can
at the
be
end of the day.
trustworthy. They can go to you if they have any issues and not be afraid.
Yes, like I try to like more than anything, and like once again, like I get like kind of like my boyfriend sees the way I parent, like, and I kind of grew up with my kids because I didn't grow up till I was like 21, 22, 23, like I was still immature. So I'm like growing up with my girls,
Yeah.
like, and we have a relationship where we're all kind of like best friends almost, and it's like unhealthy because they have no parenting figure, but it's also like have a good enough relationship with your children to like talk to them as a friend. Like, what's going on with you? Is there any way I can help you? Like I've even though like when you're 12, 13 years old, you think that your parents are just, you know, everything.
Yeah,
But
your
like
parents are
try
not
to get
cool.
down to their level, you know?
Yeah,
And just talk to them like human beings and like acknowledge their feelings.
Yeah.
definitely.
Like try to help them, try to get them out of themselves. I mean, I take my 16-year-old to the gym. She's having a bad day. Even her, she's like, I feel fat today. I'm like, first of all, you're not fat. You're comparing yourself to some girl who's all filtered out on social media. You're beautiful. You're strong. I'm like, if you want to feel better, or you want to work on your body, like come to the gym with me. Like so, like I try to do what I know to do as far as parenting.
Yeah.
I'm not the best parent.
but
I think any
I
parent
try.
is the best
don't
parent,
think
right? You
anyone's
just
the
gotta
best parent.
do.
Yeah, I don't.
You gotta just do your best.
exactly,
Mm-hmm.
and I think you're doing a pretty good job right now because they're not addicted that we know of. That you
They're
know
still
of.
young.
They're still yet. That is true.
They're still young.
But they're doing pretty well because
that is my worst fear.
you were 9 when you had your first drug, and they're
Well, no,
13.
no one's offering them any drugs in my house.
Definitely
No.
not.
There's
So-
not even.
So that's a good thing.
Not that there's
that's
anything
already a
wrong
good
with
start.
people drinking, but like no one's ever had like a party at my house where
Yeah.
there was alcohol.
Of
You know, they don't know. They know that mom and dad were like drug addicts and we're recovering, and like we tell them all the time, like it's it's gonna be around you. It's poison. Like it will destroy your life.
Yeah.
Just like
That's great that you.
No, it's good that they know and that you're open to having those conversations because
yeah, and I tell them,
have
I'm
to,
like,
right? I mean,
you know,
you
you're
can't-
gonna be at parties or at places, and
Right.
like someone's gonna bring some alcohol.
of course
Like, and I'm not gonna like.
you can't keep them from that.
Yeah, I'm like, you're gonna be 21.
Right.
You know, like
Yeah.
you can eat gummies now and get high.
Yeah, you can. That's true.
Literally.
Yeah.
That is true. Make it easier for you now.
Yeah, you don't even know. You're just eating something, and
Seriously,
yeah,
Yeah,
it's a weird world we live in.
really weird.
yeah.
Speaking about having a weird world that we live in, I want to get into this last little bit of the podcast, but I want to talk about the drug epidemic, especially here in America. Do you think America has a drug problem?
100%.
And where do you think that it's coming from? Do you think not like the drugs, obviously? Do you think it's because of social media? Do you think it's because of the failed government saying that, oh, we're going to help you, but they actually don't? They actually enable it? Where do you think it comes from?
Be a mixture of things.
Yeah, it could be a mixture of things.
I can't.
I'm not like a very educated in political matters kind of person. So like as far as anything like government or like what they're trying to do to like the people,
Because I'm going to give you a couple of stats that are just mind-blowing right here. And this has to also do with homelessness, because drug use and homeless
Go hand in
correlate
hand.
pretty well. They kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah.
I know you said you were homeless when you were younger. You know, you were getting kicked out of your house, and you were still finding drugs and doing,
yeah.
stupid stuff, basically.
Well, I didn't care to live in a house.
That is true.
Yeah, I
You
didn't
have
care to
to-
have a job to pay rent.
That is true. And maybe that's also
Yeah,
for a
if
lot
I
of
was
these-
hungry, I went to
You know what
Dunkin'
that just
Donuts.
reminded me of, Christian?
what's up.
Remember when we were doing a pool?
Oh, yeah, I totally remember that. Yep.
That's
yeah.
definitely a case like that, don't
Yeah,
you think?
definitely. I think so. She was very nice to let them in.
Very nice.
Very nice. I don't know if I would have done that, but maybe she knows them really well.
No, they probably like
They-
friends.
Yeah, they're probably friends or something like that. So, yeah, that was interesting that time. That might be something we'll talk about some other time on
I
the
know, right?
podcast. That situation at the pool house. But I want to give you some stats so we can talk about it and get your thoughts on. In 2022, the National Alliance to End Homelessness reported in America that there are over 600,000 homeless people in the U.S. That's roughly 18 out of 10,000 people that are homeless in the U.S., with estimates of around 170,000 of those homeless people in California. So
Wow.
30% of
All in
homelessness in America is in California.
What's that spot? Skid Row or something?
Yeah, in Hollywood.
Is that like the most famous like?
Believe it or not, it's not. San Francisco
Oh, yeah.
is, and I'm gonna read this right here. So each county and city varies in amount that they give, but the state of California pays on average around $600 a month to homeless individuals, which is about $20 a day. And San Francisco is one of those places. And I saw a couple of other articles and interviews with these people that are homeless, and with that $20 a day, guess what they use with it?
Drugs.
Drugs.
Exactly,
Of course.
because that's all you need is $20 to get high for the day.
Yeah.
It's wild.
It's wild, but you know what? It's the government. It's the state, because they're enabling it. They're giving them money, hoping that they'll use it.
Aren't
for
there
food.
countries who just have a whole different system? There are countries in Europe that like will give you like just enough to like have you kind of like not go through all those crazy withdrawals, and then just kind of taper you down and give you the proper treatment that you need, so that way you can fully kind of transition out of it. There's countries who go
There's
about
that
it really
here
well.
too, though.
Is there?
Yeah.
In Massachusetts or just in America? Because apparently not in California.
Well, I mean, like, there's like clinics, like, say, if you're addicted to heroin, there's like methadone clinics
Yeah.
that you could go to taper off.
But does the government actively like try to help you to do that?
I mean, I'm sure that you can get some sort of free aid if you're on the streets, or pretty much anybody who's like goes and says like, I'm addicted to heroin. I want like, what do you call it? Like, I want to try to get off. Like, what can I like use safely or like take to not feel sick? And they're gonna give you like methadone, or what's the other one that they do? You guys don't even know.
No,
It's
probably
been
not.
so long since I've been out there. I don't
Yeah.
even know what they're giving out.
But
now.
like,
That's a good thing.
yeah, maybe so. But it's like they're literally giving you money to use, basically, because it's like,
What are they expecting
what are they? Yeah,
to happen though?
exactly.
By
I,
giving $600 a month.
I
Do
think
you think they did it like maliciously so
No.
they can keep
Well,
using?
not necessarily,
I
but like,
don't.
what is the thought process behind it?
I think
They
the-
can have food.
Is that what it is?
but
Yeah, and like things to wash their body with, or
Wouldn't they just give them food if that was the case?
they would.
well, yeah,
But
you could give them food.
I
too.
guess they want
I
them.
feel like that'd be an easier option.
Yeah, it would be an easier option, you would think, but apparently not in California, because in the past 4 years, they have wasted $17.5 billion on combating homelessness. And I bet you a lot of that money
We'll never be
went
able to get rid of
So
it.
they give them $20 a week or a day.
a day,
Dang.
on average.
Wow.
So about $600 a month to homeless individuals.
Okay.
So basically, if you're getting $20 a day, and let's say you're a junkie, you basically get free money to use basically every day,
Yeah.
which is absolutely absurd. And, you know, maybe that's also why there's so much homelessness and that big drug epidemic here in America, is that the government's enabling it.
They definitely don't help. Maybe know the most ideal way, and I'm not gonna claim to know everything, obviously, but like it's probably a very hard thing to freaking deal with.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's impossible,
I think so.
but, you know, there are better ways instead of giving
Yeah,
$20
I would think so
a
as well.
day to these people who are literally going to be using it for
I
drugs.
mean, what are you supposed to do though? Are you supposed to like scoop them up and put them into some sort of like human pound and
So-
detox them, and then like throw them into like halfway houses? Like, how do you? There's way too many of them.
It is.
That's also an issue. There's so many of them, and you know, we've talked about. I've heard people talk about just rally them all up and arrest them, basically, and then throw them in jail. But then the jail.
Yeah, but first of all, there's so many of them. And
Exactly.
second of all,
Yeah,
like we're
exactly.
talking about human beings. We're not talking about like
Yeah.
a month from now I could be like on Mass Ave.
Yeah, definitely.
You know?
Yeah, definitely.
Like it doesn't matter who you are. So it's like, I don't know. It's a complicated.
It
It's
very much is.
extremely complicated.
It very much is. I think that's why they haven't figured it out yet. And especially, with them enabling it, giving them money, they definitely are far from figuring it out. And I think they're going to make it worse in the coming years.
It's wild.
It really is.
It's sad.
I don't know. Have you ever been to big cities where you see all these homeless people? Because I've been to really big cities all over the U.S. and I've seen so many of them under bridges. And like a lot of them have problems in their head, like mental problems. Like, because like if you're homeless, I don't even want to say it like this, but like if you're homeless, you probably have a mental problem because a saner person who would not be homeless, or they might not be, in that bad of a scenario.
Maybe. There's these things on Facebook that tell stories of homeless people. So like they'll interview them, and you'll be surprised at some people that are homeless. Like they have parents that love them, a house they can go to, all of these things, and they
choose to be.
It's almost like they chose to be, but not necessarily. Like it's kind of like the events of things that happened that got them there, and then they don't really want to go back because maybe they feel bad or they don't want to be a burden. So there's so many different cases out there. So I don't know.
Well, I mean, when you're using drugs, it's not like nothing else sounds good other than using drugs.
Right,
like, oh, let me go shopping for clothes. It's like, hell no. If I have like $40, like I was gonna go buy crack. Like, let me go to the gym. Like I wouldn't go to the gym. Let me go home and like finish my laundry, and like nothing else matters. I didn't want a house. I didn't want anything. I just wanted to get high.
Get high.
Yeah, so
you're basically putting them
they
in.
choose to be homeless because they don't want to live a normal life because they have the disease of addiction that just tells them to keep on getting high. Nothing else matters.
And then with the government giving them that money to help enable that, to make it even worse. So they're getting hit from all over.
Yeah, but I don't. There's no real solution to this.
Definitely not.
No.
Maybe someone might figure it out one day, but I don't think that'll happen. I just wanted to get your thoughts on it.
I don't know. Maybe we need to look at like other countries and how they deal with drug addicts.
I don't know what countries, but I know I've heard that.
Aren't we like the worst?
We are.
We're the worst in so many things.
Yeah. Obesity
And all that. We're the worst in so many
junk
things.
food.
Sad, actually.
Because we're all soft.
No, I think,
Like you said.
I don't know. I think it's weird. We have everything. Like we have like we're like the richest country in the world. Like considering where most places are, there's literally a statistic that if you just live in America alone, you're richer than like 90% of the world.
Very true.
Like which is wild to think about, right? So it's like, why do we have all these problems? Maybe because
but I also
so
feel like
accessible.
we spend the most money on the stupidest shit.
We
though.
do.
True. But that doesn't mean we're not, like, everyone for the most part, like, besides that statistic, has a roof over their head. You go to the Middle East, their roof over their head is a shed.
Yeah. Not
It's
even.
a tarp.
Not even. Clay.
And that's the majority. The majority here has a roof over their head. And it's a nice, decent house, whatever. Maybe you got water, maybe you don't. I don't know. So why do we have so much abundance here, but then we deal with the worst? Depression, obesity, whatever, drugs, all of this.
Because we have, I think, adopted that acceptance and victim mindset. What do you think? The acceptance mindset for sure, but what about everyone being a victim now? Because everyone's claiming, oh, yeah, no, I have depression, or yeah, I'm a victim of this or that, discrimination, abuse, Even maybe they might not be, but they might be. Do you think everyone's kind of playing victim now?
Well, I think like we said before, like it's almost like the way society is heading. Like we're getting, I don't know, less in touch with like reality and what like we need to do as like human beings in general. Like everything's like kind of like social media or watching this person do this and then copying them or like what should I buy at the store, like instead of like we don't have any we don't take time to think of like our own ideas. We're always like we're being influenced by all this shit, and I think it's like being fed to us purposely.
Even in the music, if you think about it, What are rappers talking about? What's the only thing? What are like the three main topics that rappers are talking about?
Drugs,
Drugs,
girls, money,
And money.
Money.
That's it, bro.
and shooting.
And-
Like
oh,
killing
okay,
people,
and
yeah.
that.
So there's 4.
That's it.
Yeah.
You put a trap song right now that has none of those things in there. Oh, it'll be my favorite song. But I guarantee you will not find one of those things not in there, easily. You find me a song.
you're right.
And then we'll do a podcast about it.
You're right. So the direction of the world, especially in the Western world right now, it's not looking so good right now.
No.
Unfortunately.
No.
But I have hope that that it'll become a better place eventually one day. Maybe when we're not alive, but maybe when our kids or grandkids are, our age, maybe it'll be a better time for them.
Makes me scared to have kids.
Yeah. No.
I hear a lot of people saying that.
Yeah, it does.
I'm
for
scared
me.
for my kids.
I think regardless, I mean, everybody. I mean, the world has always been shit for the. If you really think about it, right? I don't think it's gonna get better. I think it's only gonna get worse, just different.
Yeah.
Worse in different areas. So I don't think there's necessarily a right time to have kids, but it is shitty to think like, oh damn, I don't want to have kids in a world like this.
Yeah. It's crazy.
But
Well,
I think that's why it's so important for parents to instill good morals and values in their kids, though, and be so present, like you said, in their kids' lives. Because at the end of the day, if you, let's say you work all day, I know a lot of immigrants that come into this country and they're like, obviously they want a better life, and they can't go to school to learn English, so they got to go straight into the workforce.
Yep.
Then the kids are, 6 hours a day at school, and then 5 hours with the babysitter, and then the parents get home and they're tired, they can't give attention to their kid. Here's the iPad, go get programmed by the internet now. So it's like you gotta be able to be present in your kid's life. I understand it's hard, but if not, something else will, and that'll be school, that'll be the system, that'll be their friends, that'll be whatever. Someone is going to parent your kid, whether it's you or not. And that's a struggle.
That's a great short right there.
Yeah.
Definitely gotta clip that
Yeah.
for a short.
It's wild.
Insane. All right, Miss Fran. This is about that time where the podcast is coming to a close.
We're done, right?
Not yet. Almost.
Oh, we have like some interesting
Almost.
questions.
We do.
What kind of questions?
So
It's his
at the end of every podcast, we always ask our guests rapid fire questions. There's about 5 of them. Really easy. They're fitness questions, believe it or not. So it should be relatively easy for you. You don't have to think too much about it at all. No math or anything like that.
These are your
just for fun.
one-word answers,
Yeah,
2-word
yeah.
answers. Now you can have that.
Now you can have those 1-word answers. They're
5
just
of
for
them
fun.
and we're done, right?
What's
That's
up?
it.
5 of them?
Five of them, and
That's
then
it.
we'll get your socials and everything. You can put that out to the audience, and then closing remarks, and that's it.
Perfect.
So, are you ready, Miss Fran, for your
Yeah.
rapid fire questions?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Push, pull, legs.
Legs.
Okay, nice. What would you rather have? Carbs, proteins, or fats?
Fat.
Why fats?
Interesting.
I like chocolate and cheeseburgers and French fries.
I was hoping you'd say because it helps with the joints.
No,
It's just-
I always want to
Screw
eat.
that.
I always want to eat fat things. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, cheese.
Fair enough. Fair enough. What's your ideal form of cardio if you were to have one?
No answer.
No answer. You don't like?
Huh?
You don't like cardio?
It's inappropriate. That's why.
It's inappropriate.
Ah. Damn.
No comment.
No.
What's the
You
second?
said one-word
What-
answers, and you're asking me for more words.
What's the second most
What's
favorite?
the second
then?
favorite answer?
For cardio,
Yeah.
I like the Stairmaster.
Okay.
There you go.
Cool. Well, we should have just gone with that. No comment. If you were to have a guy, which you already do, but let's say, ideal guy, would you rather him be jacked, ripped, cut, big, or swole?
What kind of? That's kind of all the same thing.
Not necessarily. Everyone thinks there might be difference.
Jack, cut, ripped, big,
Yeah. Or swole.
none.
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 So you want him to be
He
like-
wants. She wants a pencil.
You want
She
a
likes
pencil.
the
Yeah, I
guys.
don't care.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Wow. Damn.
That's a first.
No standards.
yeah. I
huh?
don't.
That's a first.
I'm not into like massive muscles. I guess I don't care.
Yeah.
Skinny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Add skinny to that
Add
list.
Skinny. Got
Skinny.
it.
All
All
right.
right. All right. Pencil. guys.
Sloppy.
Sloppy.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Wow.
Interesting.
All right. What's your ideal cheat meal? Besides your Reese's peanut butter cups.
What I like to eat? Brownies.
Okay.
Okay.
What kind of brownies? Just like fudge brownies?
Fudge brownies.
Fudge brownies?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Cool, cool. And now, the most important question of them all. What is the sexiest part of a man's body?
What kind of questions are these? You guys are so stupid. His big toe.
Oh, that's hot.
Hot.
Gotcha. So, you got to be skinny.
Yep.
Sloppy.
You got to be sloppy.
Yep.
Eat brownies.
You got to eat brownies. And you got to have a big toe, and you got to love to have that bedroom cardio.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. Damn.
Wow. I mean, that
These
might
are
not
all
be-
lies.
These are all lies,
Yeah.
really?
They don't have to be the truth.
Oh, man. I was hoping they'd be all the truths.
That's okay.
That's all right. We'll get them out of you one of these days. All right. So that's it. That was just rapid fire questions for fun. Do you want to give everyone your social media?
Yes, I am. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram, Fit by Fran. I think I have. It's on my sweatshirt. Let me show you.
Alex
Can
will
they
also,
see it?
Yeah, Alex will also post it on there.
Yeah.
Just show it to the camera.
Show which camera?
Right in front of
In
you.
front
right
of you.
In the middle.
Where? Right
Fit
there.
by
Yep,
Fran.
right there.
Fit by Fran. I don't know. That's really it.
Yeah,
Cool.
I'm gonna add it on your.
Yeah, I'm on Facebook. You can shoot me a message if you're looking for personal training or group training, help in diet and exercise. Feel free to reach out.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Fran. We really appreciate having you. I know we asked a lot of hard questions, but I hope you had a good time and you felt pretty comfortable with it.
Yeah, this was fun. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you,
awesome.
Alex.
You're welcome.
So,
Thank you, guys.
thank you. Appreciate it. Mr. Dos Santos, anything to add? No closing remarks?
Just
Alex?
hungry.
Alex, any closing remarks?
I'm good. I'm good.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Well, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. And until next time, see you then.
We go.